everybody, this is Mia from TMBH, and today is Mindful Monday. I just wanted to preface this real quick before we really jumped into what we're talking about and let you guys know that, like I said, we have our morning videos, and so now what we're trying to do is tie in our morning videos with our live videos now, so you're going to kind of just get a better flow. Everything's going to try to flow a little bit better. So today's particular topic is replacement addictions, right? And so we're just going to learn to be, I guess, mindful of replacement addictions, because I do feel like it's something that can kind of creep up on you because, you know, when you're starting with an addiction that I think is particularly dangerous, right? So say an addiction to substances or substances such as narcotics or alcohol, right? Then a lot of times if you end up with a replacement addiction like, say, cigarettes or caffeine or sex addiction, everybody thinks, oh, those are not as bad. It's not a real addiction. And you can really kind of fall into that trap of thinking when you started off with an addiction like narcotics or alcohol, because it's such a severe addiction that kind of you might feel like every other addiction kind of pales in comparison to, but it's something that you need to be mindful of. So I have my notes, guys. I always have my notes. They're on paper today. These say, okay, so the first thing that I wanted to talk about were basically where substance abuse comes from. And that's kind of at the root of all those problems. And it's such an important thing to understand that substance abuse doesn't just fall from the sky and like happen. Like people aren't just like, I'm an alcoholic now, or I'm like a drug addict now. A lot of times that's something that it's preceded by something, whether it be past trauma, maybe, it was abuse. It could have been sexual abuse. It could have been physical abuse. It could have been emotional abuse, verbal abuse, any kind of really past trauma like that. A lack of connection. So if maybe you had your father wasn't there, or your mother wasn't there, or you weren't able to connect with friends, anything like that, those are a lack of connections. And Dr. B, there's a video that I was just mulling over today, and one of the things she had talked about was that addiction really a lot of times is rooted in a lack of connection. Mental illness, improper stress management, those are all things that really are the roots for addiction, and then addiction fills those voids. It fills those holes for people. So, you know, it makes it so that those things, you think about them less, and for a lot of people that's comforting. You know, when those things stress you out or they get too much, sometimes you feel like you need something to help you out, and you do need something to help you out. But the thing you need is proper therapy. You know, not substances. But unfortunately, a lot of people don't know where to go, and so they turn to the things that they know. And for a lot of people, it is substances. So when we initiate recovery, when you begin that process of recovery, say you've decided, like, you know what, I have an alcohol problem, so I'm going to go to rehab, and I'm going to start on this process. So you've now initiated that recovery process. You might decide, okay, so now I'm done with alcohol. You've gotten out of rehab, you know, you're all fine and dandy, but during that time in rehab, you didn't take full advantage of the therapy. You know, you just kind of went, like, you know, you went through detox, you felt like you were good, you knew it all, you didn't really you didn't put too much effort into that therapy process, into the group, into the individualized session, into the activities that you were doing. So when you do that and now you've gotten out of rehab, you haven't really fixed your problem. You think you fixed your problem because I guess you think your problem is the substance, but that's not the problem. The detox is only one thing. What you really needed was that therapy and all those additional things that happen in rehab, not just the detox. So now that you haven't solved that underlying issue, a lot of times you'll try to, you've now gotten rid of one addiction and you'll just go in to replace it with another. And so I have a few lists of things that are kind of common. So for example, cigarettes is incredibly common. In fact, to the point where like a lot of like rehab facilities, that's something that a lot of clients will end up using because it kind of helps shift them from what they were doing before to like something that maybe isn't that great, but like better than what they were doing before. Caffeine is another big one, so like energy drinks, coffee. Again, caffeine is a drug. It's a stimulant. It's an upper. So it's a drug. It's just a socially acceptable drug, but it doesn't make it any less of a drug. Sex is another common one. Work. that is a big one that a lot of people tend to like negate because they're like, oh, well, it's work. Of course it's fine. Like, I'm just working. It's like, no, you can overwork yourself to a point of exhaustion and you're not taking care of what you need to take care of, your actual problems. If you're doing anything too much and it's becoming unhealthy for you and it's stopping you from living a healthy life, then, I mean, it's problematic. Social media addiction, an addiction to exercise, and food is another one. So you may be overeating, so like kind of eating your emotions, which I do sometimes. And then you may undereat, which is another thing I do sometimes, which is like, so you can, like, for example, develop an eating disorder such as like anorexia nervosa and bulimia, or you can overeat too, which is another problem. So there's just so many different replacement addictions. And so really all this video was about is just reminding you to be mindful and maybe take, like I said, being mindful is all about examining your life and doing some frequent check-ins. Check in with yourself. Is there anything, okay, so maybe you're done with the alcohol and the drugs, but are you replacing it with anything else? Did you take full advantage of recovery or the recovery process, of the rehab process, or whatever process you underwent to help you get off of the initial substance? So yeah, like that's all this video is about, just trying to remind you guys to be a little bit mindful of, you know, your previous addiction, where you're at currently, and just making sure that, you know, you're being good to yourself and you're not replacing other addictions. So like I said, we did this video and it's kind of gonna flow with the morning video that we did, but still watch the morning video, because if you have any interest in anything that we've talked about today, then that will definitely expand on it for you. So yeah, our morning video, watch that. It expands on this. We're trying to get things to flow a little bit better. I'll see you guys tomorrow. We're still doing the same like days, like Mindful Monday, Trending Tuesday, like all that stuff. So I will see you here again tomorrow for Trending Tuesday at 1 o'clock. And I hope you guys all have a great day.